Good morning, everyone, and welcome back from spring break. Today, we are going to be starting our next book. It's called Never Fall Down by Patricia McCormick. Today, you're going to be responsible for learning some background information quickly, and then you're going to jump into a biographical documentary of Pol Pot, which you will watch half of today and half of tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get into some background. Patricia McCormick, the author of Never Fall Down, is a journalist and young adult novelist. She's written a number of books, including Cut, My Brother's Keeper, Sold, Purple Heart, Never Fall Down, The Plot to Kill Hitler, and Sergeant Reckless, a picture book she put out recently. She's also the co-author of I Am Malala, the story of a girl who was shot by the Taliban in her fight for education. Patty travels extensively to research for her books. For Never Fall Down, she traveled to Cambodia and Thailand. And for Sold, which is a book that you'll read later in this unit, she traveled to India and Nepal. As always, I like to give you guys a sense of where we are located for each unit. So we started the semester in India with Behind the Beautiful Forevers. Then we went to Zimbabwe for Zenzele, A Letter for My Daughter. And now we are in Cambodia, which is in Southeast Asia, and it's bordered by Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam. All right, so I'm just going to read the back cover to you, and if you have the hardcover, it should be in the inside of the jacket. It says, when soldiers arrive at his hometown in Cambodia, Arn is just a kid, dancing to rock and roll, hustling for spare change, and selling ice cream with his brother. But after the soldiers march the entire population into the countryside, his life is changed forever. Arn is separated from his family and assigned to a labor camp. Working in the rice paddies under a blazing sun, he sees the other children, weak from hunger, malaria, or sheer exhaustion, dying before his eyes. He sees prisoners marched to a nearby mango grove, never to return. And he learns to be invisible to the sadistic Khmer Rouge who can give or take away life on a whim. One day, the soldiers ask if any of the kids can play an instrument. Arn's never played a note in his life, but he volunteers. In order to survive, he must quickly master the strange revolutionary songs the soldiers demand and steal food to keep the other kids alive. This decision will save his life, but it will pull him into the very center of what we now know today as the Killing Fields. And just as the country is about to be liberated from the Khmer Rouge, Arn is handed a gun and forced to become a soldier. He lives by the simple credo. Over and over, I tell myself one thing: never fall down. All right, so this is Arn Chorn. He's the subject of our book. The book starts in Battambang, Cambodia in April of 1975. And just as the blurb stated, the Khmer Rouge, which is this communist regime, sort of takes over the city. And Pol Pot, the man you're going to watch the documentary about today, launches a killing spree in hopes of equalizing Cambodia and restoring what once was an agrarian society. So when the book begins, Arn is 11 years old, and this is a true story. The map you're looking at depicts the magnitude of this genocide. The range is 1975 to 1979, and you can kind of see the distribution of both the killing fields and the Khmer Rouge prisons. So there were 380 killing fields scattered across the country, and there were also 189 prisons. This genocide was responsible for the death of about 2 million people, and people died from starvation, being overworked, tortured, and executed. And you can see Arn is from Battambang, and that's in the upper left area of the map, but this was obviously widespread across the entire country. Today and tomorrow, you are going to be watching a biographical documentary about Pol Pot, the leader of the Khmer Rouge. I always like to show this documentary because it gives some great historical background and some context for sort of the political and socioeconomic strain that was going on. And it also gives you some really good visuals for heading into the book. The quality is not wonderful, just fair warning, but I think the information is good enough that it's worth showing. So today you're going to be watching half of it. So you'll watch until about 20 minutes-ish, and then you'll watch the other half tomorrow. Your first reading in Never Fall Down is chapters 1 and 2, and those chapters are due on Thursday. We do not have any class on Wednesday, so you can kind of pace out how you want to get that done. At this point, you can head back to the Canvas announcement to get the link for the video.